Have you ever heard of Omni deck? It's one of the most commonly performed effects in all of card magic. This crazy new gimmick allows you to simulate an Omni deck effect, but in a brand new way. This is Omni Air by Victor Sanz and Penguin Magic, a brand new combination of a solid through solid and Omni deck. Today, I'm telling you everything you need to know about Omni Air. This is called a magician sobriety test. There's a hole in the cellophane and you have to try to get the pen through the hole. So I would give that pen to my spectator, slide out the cellophane, and they can give it a shot. But they'll find that they can't push it through. They still feel the hole, but they just can't push that pen through because there's something blocking it. A giant block of glass. And they can examine the glass, they can check out the pen. That's Omni Air. I hope you enjoyed that quick performance of Omni Air. Now that you know what Omni Air looks like, what do you get when you buy Omni Air? When you purchase Omni Air, you receive this very nice magnetic enclosed box. In the box, you get everything you need with the exception of a couple things, which we'll discuss more shortly. You get the Omni Air gimmicked tuck case, the clear block of glass, and a couple of other bonus gimmicks that allow for a really cool visual revelation of a spectator's card on the Omni Air glass. You also get the thicker cellophane with the holes in them. And finally, you get the link to the tutorial. You have to provide your own Sharpie and Red Bicycle deck of cards. What is the quality of the gimmick? The gimmicks are high quality and the method is so clever. The tuck case is very good quality and comes in red rider back design. And although there are moving parts, this should last you a very long time. The cellophane is thicker than normal cellophane, so it should last a while. The block is also good quality. I'm not sure exactly what it's made of. I don't think it's glass, but it is a strong material. From the looks of it. The Sharpie is not provided. You can use your own. You don't need a Sharpie either. You can use a finger, pen, or anything like that. With the gimmick, if you don't practice enough, it could get misaligned mid-performance. That's something I wanted to mention. So make sure you get the handling down before starting to perform Omni Air. Also, one thing about this gimmick is that if you are wearing a certain dark colored shirt, you can do exceptionally clean handlings. By no means do you have to be wearing a black shirt. I'm not wearing a black shirt, I'm wearing a gray shirt. But if you are wearing a shirt like that, you can do some exceptionally clean handlings. However, again, you do not need a black shirt, as multiple other handlings with any shirt are taught. But it's just slightly less clean than if you were wearing a black shirt. And one thing I wanted to mention about Omni Air is when you're carrying it in your pocket, you have to carry it in a certain way. And when the gimmick is in position, the gimmick can slide around in your pocket if you're not careful. It can still be stored in your pocket and then you can pull it out and perform the trick. But when you are taking it out of your pocket, you're going to want to be careful that the gimmick doesn't get misaligned. That can make things a little bit knacky. But once you practice getting it in and out of your pocket and getting into performing this effect, it definitely gets a lot easier. Now, how's the tutorial? The tutorial is 50 minutes long. Nick Lacapo is in the P3 Magic Studio. There are multiple camera angles and Nick is mic'd up. The audio and video are both good quality and Nick teaches you multiple different handlings. He goes through what you get, the basic secret, 4 basic handlings, some tips, the original handling, a bonus trick, and even making, and then someone else goes, I think Seth Race, goes through how to make a brand new cellophane with the hole inside. The tutorial is very good. I'd say it left no stone unturned, pretty much. Is this a social media or a real life effect? I would say this could work for both social media or real world performances, but performing this in real life might have more of an impact. The reason being is that this isn't extraordinarily visual, so it might be less impactful on a video than it is in real life. What are the angles like? There are some angle restrictions. The angles get much better if you're wearing a certain type of clothing, but if you're not wearing that style of clothing, the angles are about 160 degrees, I would say. You won't want people on your extremes left or right or behind you. When it comes to this effect, for some people, I could see this being more of a puzzle than a magic effect if you have the wrong presentation. But it's still a great effect. If you make it into a puzzle to your audience, it will become a puzzle. But if you make it into a miracle, as if the glass just appeared from nowhere, then it's more of a powerful, impactful magic effect. So that is one suggestion that I have if you want to perform Omni Air. Are there live performances? There are no live performances in the tutorial, but I believe there were some in the trailer. Is this examinable? At the end of the routine, the Sharpie, glass, and deck of cards can be fully examined. That's what makes this really fooling. I've done this on a few laymen on Magic Live. Go check out that vlog after this video. I actually did a performance of Omni Air in that vlog, somewhere around halfway. I did this on a few laymen at the Magic Live hotel, and the more they inspected the glass block, the more they were fooled. I think that's really where all the heat is, the glass block. It's unlikely the spectators will want to check out the box or the tuck case. And even so, it looks normal from all sides, but you can't have the box examined. But the deck of cards can be examined. You can do any trick. The Sharpie can be examined and the glass can be examined. Just the tuck case can't. Now let's talk about the difficulty and practicality of Omni Air. This really isn't too difficult at all. You need to practice the move, but once you get that down, this is really simple, relatively simple. I would say this is a beginner to an intermediate effect. It's practical for table hopping and close-up magic, maybe even a parlor show. Is there any DIY required? There is no DIY required for the main routine. You just have to set up the gimmick. However, if the cellophane does eventually wear out, you will have to make your own, and that is taught in the tutorial. It's not incredibly difficult. You can just take any bicycle rider back cellophane, you have to expand it, and then make the holes. Pocket space. The pocket space is a little thicker than a deck of cards and taller than a deck of cards because with the gimmick set up, just imagine the pocket space as a deck of cards with a block in the cellophane. That's a good representation of the amount of pocket space required. You also need to carry your Sharpie marker, of course. However, keep in mind that you can use the deck for any trick after Omni Air. So if you already carry a deck of cards in your EDC, all you're adding to your pocket space required is the block of glass in your cellophane. The thing is though, if you already have a gimmicked tuck case like Unhanded by JP Valerino or the top of the box gaff, you can only have one gimmicked tuck case for your deck of cards unless you're carrying multiple decks. Therefore, you'd have to choose between whether you want to do a trick like Omni Air or Unhanded. So just keep that in mind if you already have a gimmicked tuck case. What is the reset like? This trick, if you want, can reset sort of in front of your audience. You can just put the glass block in the cellophane, put the cellophane on the box, and put it in your pocket. And in your pocket, you can do a small little adjustment, and then you're reset. You can just go to the next table, take out the deck, slide the cellophane on and off show. It's real cellophane, push the pen through, and then it's a block of glass. What should Omni Air retail for? Omni Air by Victor Sanz currently retails for $40 US. Do I think it's a fair price? Yes, for the custom gimmick tuck case, the clear block, the cellophane, and the extra gimmicks included, I think this could have retailed for $45 or maybe a little bit more. Is this better than the original Omni deck? In my opinion, I think the Omni deck effect is a bit stronger because it happens in the spectator's hands. And it's a complete transformation of a deck of cards. That is definitely not to say that this is a weak effect. This is a strong effect still. However, I do think Omni deck has a bit more impact for a few reasons. I think it comes down to personal preference. However, because of the fact that Omni deck is performed so much by nearly every magician I know, I would probably be more inclined to perform Omni Air rather than Omni deck in my actual set. What are the pros and cons of Omni Air? The pros are this is a quite fooling effect. It's not exceptionally difficult. The props are very high quality. The glass at the end, the block is examinable. The tutorial's good. There are bonus effects included. There are pretty good angles. They're not perfect, but they're a lot better than I expected when I saw the trailer. This can be reset in front of your audience if you want. The deck is normal. You can use it for any trick. The cons are if you present this wrong, people might see this as a puzzle more than a magic trick. The box box is also not examinable. There's not too much heat on the box, but I just wanted to mention that. Also, it is a bit weird when you carry this in your pocket. It can slide if you're not careful. One of the handlings shown in the trailer also uses a certain principle based on the color of the shirt. And I just kind of wish they included that handling in the trailer. I wish they would have wrote a disclaimer that you need a certain type of clothing for that handling. Again, you can do Omni Air itself with any type of clothing, but it just is more clean if you do have a black shirt on or a black mat or something like that. But what percent do I give Omni Air? I really like this effect because it feels like a breath of fresh air when it comes to the Omni deck plot. I am giving it a 93%. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.